Alright, here's round two. We still have a 13 card sideboard with no reclamation sages. Hopefully it doesn't come up. It's really funny that's even possible. You don't even get a notification of it. But anyway, I suppose I could have been a little more careful and reviewed it, but importing the list directly from Worlds, there's literally just a download, import, and it's not there. Anyway, go ahead and play first. This hand is pretty solid. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it. I don't have any better mana acceleration, but I do have some early game interaction potentially, and ways to dig for more mana. Murderous Cut, I am gonna keep this on top. I have a Wayfinder, and Wayfinder into Murderous Cut is just really powerful. It allows me to basically cast just one mana removal spell. So. Alright, so Temple of Deceit. I don't want that Murderous Cut anymore, because I'm guessing my opponent is actually playing a control deck. But, statistically speaking, it would have been pretty good. Alright, well, we even got a Jungle Hollow coming to play tap, so we can't necessarily play a Coercive Prefix next turn. So, hopefully we draw an untapped land, and can do that. So yeah, this Murderous Cut is looking worse and worse, as my opponent plays more and more blue-black dual lands. We'll go ahead and Thoughtseize. And yep, I feel like I'm going to take Dig Through Time. Bile-Blight is pretty poor. Jace's Ingenuity is fine, but maybe I actually want to take Perilous Vault. Perilous Vault gives him the ability to actually deal with like Eidolons and stuff when it comes to play. He does have Bile-Blight too, but I feel like this deck relies so heavily on the ability to generate card advantage through board presence that letting my opponent have a Perilous Vault feels like a mistake. So I'm going to take Perilous Vault. So Bile-Blight, Dig, and Jace's Ingenuity are in my opponent's hand. Give him a beatdown. Alright, well, we're going to play Courser. Hopefully didn't draw a Dissolve or something. The right on time Sylvan Caryatid, no land on top for Courser. Murderous Cut that I left on top against a blue-black control deck. This is going really well. So blue-black control is the sort of deck that's very difficult for this deck to beat. You are just generally just not very well set up to compete against decks that have a lot of counter magic and everything. Come on, show me a land. Land on top, land on top, land on top. That comes to the play tapped again! I mean, I guess I'm going to play it, because I want a free land. I guess I'll keep that on top. Like, even though I already have two Eidolons, Eidolon is like one of the cards that actually can allow you to compete with the card, potentially try and compete with the card drawing of the blue-black deck. This is actually a matchup where I would want Reclamation Sage, because I can bring it in to kill the what's it? Perilous Vaults. I cast Eidolon. We draw Hornet Queen. We still don't have land. And my opponent is going to draw a bunch of cards. I was just going to Bile-Blight. Huh. I probably would have Jace's Ingenuity and then Bile-Blighted the next turn when he had the opportunity to... He only used 2 of his mana instead of 5 of his mana. Alright, free land. 3, 4, 5, 6. Cast. I'm gonna cast Commune first. Well, first thing I'm gonna do is attack. I might just be able to, kind of try and grind him down here, get him to 10. But Vault is going to be a really big deal. We're going to Commune. We're looking for Whip. Whip is another Courser's okay. Play another Eidolon. Lets us resolve. He really was going to want to kill it immediately because it's going to potentially draw me like a lot of cards. Oh, there's a Whip too. Yeah. So you're saying there's a chance. Mr. Jace is ingenuitying. All right. So I can't cast both. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll have 7 mana. I can't cast both Eidolon of Blossoms and Whip, unfortunately. So I'm going to cast a Courser. I want to cast Eidolon and Whip in the same turn, so I just want to cast Courser this turn with the Eidolon in play. He's killing it now? What's happening? Bile Blight on Courser. Okay. So 2 Bile Blights, killing both of my Coursers. Maybe I should have attacked first. Well, he's played 3 Bile Blights now, so I'm just going to play a second Eidolon of Blossoms here. That's all 4 of my Eidolons, right? No, there's only 3 of them? Alright, so now I have a lot of cards. I get to discard a Murderous Cut. Maybe discard a Hero's Downfall. And he could have Ashiok in his deck. So yeah, if I'd attacked last turn, or this previous turn with my Courser before casting another Courser, there really wasn't very much reason not to do that. I would have potentially be representing lethal in this turn, which is actually a pretty big deal versus Vault. Although I could potentially represent lethal with Whip. I don't want to cast Whip into a bunch of open mana after a bunch of card draw spells. So 3 Bile Blights. Let's see what's going on. I just played that and gain some life. You could Drown in Sorrow me. Thoughtseize. Okay. Yeah, I have lethal on board. Probably gonna take Whip. Yeah, it's the scariest card. So he has to kill one of these guys. He has 6 mana. I guess I can, if I just try and force the issue pre-combat, no, I can just attack with all of them. And then play like Hornet Queen. We'll just see what he does. Alright, one of those guys is dead. You go to 3. Or 2. 2 life. Alright. So now next turn you can play and crack a next turn he can play and crack a vault. So I just want to here. We're just gonna play out a bunch of stuff. And I'm gonna draw that too. These are all, you know, because I'm cantripping here. Him playing and playing and using vault. He's gonna have to play and use vault, and then I'm just gonna be able to, like, this is forcing the issue. You know, he absolutely 100% has to have vault, and I'm not losing any resources by deploying these into play. And there we go. He doesn't have it. Like even if he had like Silence the Believers, he'd still die here because of that. So didn't think that was going to go well the way that game started and the way the matchup seemed to line up. But I'm going to board in my Reclamation Sages that aren't here. All right, so we're taking out Murderous Cut. I don't know if my opponent does have Ashiok. It's a relatively popular sideboard card, so it's possible that I still want to have some number of Heroes Downfall in the deck. I certainly want to have 4 Thoughtseizes and 2 Read the Bones. I don't know how good Doomwake or Hornet Queen are. Freak is very good. I think all the mana acceleration is good. I think 2 Downfalls is okay to try and sort of hedge against Ashiok. Hornet Queen is really expensive, but it is very good with Whip, and it does fight effectively against 1-for-1 removal. Kind of just take out a Doomwake Giant here. Not sure that this is correct, but it seems reasonable at least. I could see having 0 Heroes Downfall, but I don't want to just be totally dead to an Ashiok. And also, you know, things like Prognostic Sphinx and Pearlic Ancient certainly aren't very good uses for Heroes Downfall, but it does provide you with the ability to at least interact with them and force your opponent to take action to defend them. So I think this is what I want to try. Again, not really sure that this is correct. I think that I would have Reclamation Sages in over Doomwake Giant if, you know, somehow I didn't have a 13-card sideboard. But let's give this a shot. All right. This is a very good hand. I feel like Pharika is one of the better cards against a deck like this. It is answered by Vault, which makes it less powerful than it otherwise would be, but here we have Mana Acceleration into some of the more powerful cards, so we're going to keep it. I really wish that I had Reclamation Sages. They seem like that, you know, they come in very handy. Ooh, my opponent mulliganed to 5. Who needs Reclamation Sages when your opponent doesn't have cards? Alright, so we're going to open with an Elf. And my opponent can't really cast spells. Oh, what a nice Reclamation Sage that is. I'm going to play Wayfinder. We'll find this way. We'll put this to the bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and play Temple of Malady because I really want to find Eidolon of Blossoms. We don't want Tomb. We certainly don't want Tomb if you're when it looks like my opponent is color screwed. That is the last card we want. Alright, well, I could play Whip, but there's a possibility of Disdainful Stroke, so I feel like I just want to attack and just play Pharika here. I could just play Pharika, yeah, I'm just going to play Pharika. Dude. Yeah, it looks like my opponent F6'd, so probably doesn't have a Disdainful Stroke. Now we can actually just make snakes. This doot. Guess we're not making snakes. Just attacking and ending this game, putting my opponent out of his misery. Kind of feel sorry. The way this is going. All right. Solve. Well, I feel like Doomwake is actually like if my opponent does play Vault next turn, I would rather have Doomwake and be attacking for damage than have Vault in play. So yeah, here I guess get to attack for a ton of damage. My opponent plays Vault. No, can't play Vault. Tapped land. This game's over. It's already basically over. Now it's pretty much officially over. No reason to actually cast anything that can be dissolved. Just going to go ahead and attack with all my creatures. Alright, well that second game wasn't very interesting. Game one was actually kind of interesting because, you know, we actually got to, you know, sequence our spells in such a way that we were trying to fight against what we knew, you know, our opponent had, and try and find the, you know, spots to resolve our most important spells, and you know, keep ourselves resilient to the removal that we knew our opponent had available or, you know, had access to. The second second Bioblight killing the coursers, like, actually sort of paid off for me because it let me just play my Eidolons with abandon, really, and, you know, start generating tons of resources. So we did not end up needing Reclamation Sage to kill Vault, but you know, certainly would have liked to have it. Really don't know what's going on. Anyway, off to round 3.